Good morning, children. This is 5th standard English class. Today we are going to start with our new block, that is block number 16. Block number 16, Stopping by woods on a snowy evening. Stopping by woods on a snowy evening. Who is the author of the poem? Robert Frost. Robert Frost. Can you see the picture over here? What do you understand by the title of the poem? That woods means what? Woods means forest area. Woods means forest area. Snowy evening means where the snow is falling. That means the woods are stopping the poet on a snowy evening. Okay. So before going to the poem, first we will discuss little about Robert Frost, children. Robert Frost was an American poet born on 26th March 1874 in San Francisco, California. So, when did he born? On 26th March 1874 in San Francisco, California. And died on 29th January 1968. He wrote mainly nature poems. Which all poems he wrote? They were related to nature only. Here I wrote few of the poetry names. The Road Not Taken, The Road Not Taken, Mending Wall, Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening. Today we are going to learn about this poem. Okay, this poem falls on the genre of nature poetry. What is the genre of the poem? Nature, right? And as the title implies, stopping by woods on a snowy evening. Woods means what? Forest area. This comes under physical features, right? And snowy. Snowy means weather related to nature. This is also related to nature. This is also related to nature. Evening, time of the day. And again, this is also related to nature. So, these three are the elements of nature. Woods, snowy, evening. These three are elements of nature. The title itself tells us that it is a nature poem. Okay, so now open your poem. Stopping by woods on a snowy evening. We'll see line by line. Okay. Whose woods these are, I think I know. Whose woods these are, I think I know. So, in the first line, we come to know that Robert Frost has come to a wood. Robert Frost has come to a wood. Wood means open forest area. He has come to a forest area and he thinks he knows whose forest it is. Okay. In the second line, his house is in the village though. His house is in the village though means what, children? In the second line, he explains us whose forest it is. Okay, in the second line, he explains us whose forest it is. In the first line, he asks the question, right? In the first line, he asks the question, and in the second line, he answers it. How? By this word, his house, we know that the owner lives in a village nearby to the forest. He lives in a village which is nearby to the forest. Okay. Now coming to third and fourth line, he says that the owner of the forest will not see two things. In third and fourth line, he says that the owner of the forest will not see two things. Which are the two things we'll see in these two lines? He will not see me stopping here to watch his woods fill up with snow. The owner of the forest will not see that Robert Frost has stopped in his forest now. See, he will not see me stopping here, right? Here means where? In the forest. The owner of the forest will not see that Robert Frost has stopped in his forest. Yes. Next, to watch his woods fill up with snow. In the second line, what he is telling? The owner of the forest will not see that his woods are filling up with snow. It means that snow is falling over the trees, the leaves, the trees all are filled up with snow. See, to watch his snow woods, woods means again trees, leaves, and all are filled up with snow. See, trees in the forest are covered with snow. It's snowing there. So you can imagine how beautiful the scenario is. Can you imagine? Just try to close your eyes and try to imagine that how beautiful the scenery will be. You are surrounded by woods and snow. The woods are also surrounded with, covered with snow. Yes, is it beautiful? Yes. The Robert Frost is standing in between the Robert Frost is standing in between the woods, and it's a snowy evening. Snow is what? Falling all the trees, and entire forest is covered with snow. The imagination is very nice, right? Coming to the second paragraph. My little horse must think it queer to stop without a farmhouse near between the woods and frozen lake, the darkest evening of the year. Queer means what? Strange here. Queer means strange. So, in the second line, what is the little horse is thinking, we are going to see. In the second line, we come to know that Robert Frost is not alone. Robert Frost is not alone. He is accompanied by a little horse. In the second para, we came to know that he is not alone. He is accompanied with a little horse. And Robert Frost says that it seems very strange for his little horse. He's saying that it is strange to his little horse. Now, what is the strange thing? See, what are the strange things? He explained in the other 3 lines. He has explained in the next 3 lines. To stop without a farmhouse near. See, to stop without a farmhouse near. His little horse is feeling strange how my owner has stopped today in a place where there is no farmhouse nearby. This is the first strange thing. What is the first strange thing? Little horse is feeling strange how my owner has stopped today in a place where there is no farmhouse nearby. So generally earlier when people used to go on the rounds, they used to go on the horseback. Have you seen in the movies, even in the villages till today, if they have to migrate to another place, they'll take the help of the animals. They'll sit on the back of the animals on the carts and they'll move, right? So same like that. In earlier days, they used to go on the horseback or any animal cart, and they used to stop in farmhouses so that owner and the animal would take some rest. So that they can take some rest. That too in the farmhouses. But here there is no farmhouse. But even then, the Robert Frost has stopped his horse. So when there is no farmhouse there near for taking any rest, and the way there is chilling, snowing, here in the previous lines we have studied that snow is falling, right? So it's strange for this little horse that why my owner has stopped in such a place where there is no farmhouse. See the third line, between the woods and frozen lake. First of all, he had stopped where there is no farmhouse. That is the first strange thing. And what is the second strange thing? That too, where did he stop? Between the woods and frozen lake. And the location, that means here he is describing the location where they have stopped. Where they have stopped. The location where they have stopped is one side. There is deep forest. Between the woods means deep forest, and the other side there is frozen lake. What there is the other side? Frozen lake. That means the lake water has been all frozen up in cold. There is no water even available to drink. There is no water also to drink as the lake is completely frozen with the snow, and the woods were, the forest was very deep. So what is the first strange thing? The first strange thing was he had stopped where there is no farmhouse. And the second thing is in between the woods, that means deep forest and frozen lake, where they cannot have water also because the lake is completely frozen. Right, in between that both the poet and the horse were standing. Now see the next line, the darkest evening of the year. The darkest evening of the year. That is, everything is dark. Darkest evening means everything is dark. Just close your eyes and imagine, children, that you are standing in a deep and dark forest, and it's the darkest evening of the year. Darkest evening means there is no moonlight also. Can you imagine that place where there is deep forest and there is completely dark evening, and you are standing over there? All around it is dark and you cannot see anything all around. How is the imagination? Nice? Okay. So naturally, not only the little horse, anyone would feel very strange to stop in such a place and in such a condition. So, what are the three things? The first thing is the poet has stopped near one place where there is no farmhouse also, and that too where in between the deep woods and frozen lake. That means deep forest and frozen lake. And the third is in between these two he is standing where there is no moonlight also. So these are the three strange things the horse was thinking. So what are the three things that seem strange to the horse? That why his owner has stopped without a farmhouse near. Second one is, why is the location such that in one side it's filled with wood and the other side there is a frozen lake? It's very strange location. It's the dark evening of the year where you cannot see anything. What is happening all around? Can you see in the dark evening? If all the lights, if power cut is there during the night time, so how would you feel? It will be everything dark, right? So these are the three strange things the little horse was thinking about. Coming to the third paragraph, first I'll read out the paragraph. He gives his harness bells a shake to ask if there is some mistake. The only other sounds the sweep of easy wind and downy flake. See here, harness means what, children? Strap on the body of the horse attached to the cart. Have you any time seen to the animals there will be a bell attached to its nose which goes to the backside cart? Yes, that is what is harness. When it moves, it shakes its head, the bell sound will come out. And sweep means blowing, the wind blows, right? And downy flake means what? Fluffy cotton like snow. Have you any time seen snow like cotton in the movies, in the TVs? Snow world, if you have been to snow world, you can experience how the snow will be like a fluffy cotton, it will be. Okay, now see here, this is a sign when an animal communicate with the owner. That animal shakes the harness bell, makes the sound of harness bell to communicate with the owner. When it harness the bells, it is the word which it it is the action which is done to communicate with its owner. The animal uses harness bell to communicate with its owner. What is a harness bell? Just now I have told you. That strap that is attached to the body of the horse with the cart, that is called the harness. The bell is attached to the harness. When the horse moves, the bell makes the sound. When it shakes, the harness bell makes the sound. And the horse is shaking the harness bell. How to ask the owner if something mistake? Now here, by shaking its neck bell, it is asking the owner if something mistake has been done by the owner, because this is not the usual place that they take rest, right? Now see the third line. The only other sounds the sweep of easy wind and downy flake. The only other sounds that can be heard except harness bell. What is that? That is sweep, that is the blowing of the wind. And downflake means fluffy snowballs. When the wind carries snowflakes, it makes the hushing sound of very rough type. That sound is audible besides the sound of the harness bell. If heavy wind blows, we can hear the sound. Yes, children? So, other than the harness sound, what was the sound? The downy flake and the sweep also. Right? Coming to the fourth paragraph, the woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. Now see here, the woods are lovely, dark and deep. What is the meaning of lovely, dark and deep? Here these are the adjectives used to describe the woods, forest area. See, visual imagery description of the forest. In the last stanza, the poet gives us the description of the woods, and this also the visualized imagery. Okay, the description of the woods. The description of the woods. It's a very beautiful and lovely woods. It's a dark wood. It's a dark wood means what? It's a dark wood means it's a dense forest. Dark means it's a dense forest area, and it is the darkest evening. Okay, it is the darkest evening of the year, so you cannot see anything in between the forest area, and it's deep. And how is the forest? It's deep. The entire forest is all filled up with trees and endless area, endless road. Okay, so it's called deep as well. Deep means endless, endless trees, endless roads, endless area. Okay, now coming to the next line. The woods are lovely, dark, and deep. So the woods are described by the three words, that is lovely, dark, and deep. But I have promises to keep. But I have promises to keep. Though the weather, though the place is very appealing to the poet, how much the weather is snowy, how much the place is dark, but the poet still he has leave the place immediately. That means he have to reach his, why he have to leave the place immediately? Because promises, he have some promises to keep. Which are the promises means what here? The duties and the responsibilities of life. The duties and responsibilities of life. Here the poet described, but I have promises to keep. Promises means the duties and responsibilities to keep towards his maybe family, friends, or to the country. Okay. He has to go now from this forest because he has many more responsibilities to take up. If you see the third and fourth line, it is the same line repeated, but there is lots of difference in this also. And miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. In the third line, that means the and miles to go before I sleep implies that the poet has to leave this place immediately so that he can complete his journey today. Only for today itself he can complete his journey and go home and take rest. Right? And in the second line, and miles to go before I sleep, this implies that the poet has to undertake many such journeys before he reaches the deathbed, children. Deathbed means before he die, he have to take many more journeys like that. Okay, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep means in the third line, the poet is telling that he has to leave this place immediately as he has to go up and do his duties for today, and he can take rest. And in the fourth line, the meaning is he has to undertake many such journeys before he reaches to his deathbed. See here, I wrote the meanings also for you. He has to fulfill many responsibilities and take such journey many a times before he goes to his deathbed. Fourth line meaning is this, and the third line meaning is duties and he has to end today's journey and take rest. Third line tells us about only that day's journey, and fourth line tells about his deathbed. Okay, so by this I have completed the explanation of the poetry. I hope you understood. I want you to write the keywords, meanings, and make sentences in the classwork. Keywords, meanings, make sentences, and your bit number 4 is state true or false. Bit number 4 is state true or false. The poem describes the poet's stay in the mountains. True or false, children? It is false. The poem is written from the perspective of a child. Is any child? Is this the poem written on the point of view of a child? Perspective means point of view, right? No, false. Next, the night is the darkest of the year. Yes, true. We have learnt here, right? Where is that here? The darkest evening of the year, right? The woods are covered with snow. Yes, true. So you are going to write keywords, meanings, make sentences, true or false. Not only this, you are going to complete your activity, project work in activity book. Yes, I have asked you to write about any two soldiers. You are going to paste the pictures of any two brave soldiers. Write about the two brave soldiers in activity book. And this all you are going to complete it in classwork. keywords, make sentences, meanings, and true or false. So by this I'll end the session for today. Tomorrow we are going to see our workbook also based on the topic the elements of nature. These are the elements of nature which I have already learned, right? See here, elements of nature once again. Woods, snowy, evening. These are the three elements of nature in this our poem Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening. So by this I'll end the session, children. Thank you.